Hey, True Believers, Englentine here with another batch of new comic book reviews. As always, we do a Marvel, which is going to be Fantastic Four's Grimm, Noir, a DC. From that, we have Detective Comics, and we're going to be talking about finger guns as far as the independent comic books are concerned. And what the heck, let's throw in a DC comic bonus review at the end. So with all that aside, let's get this party started. I got to admit, as soon as I saw they were doing a Noir book starring the Thing, I had to pick it up. I don't know why or what made me go, ooh, yeah, that's going to be the best. I'm going to check that out. So I did, and I'm glad I did, actually. This is a good book. It's a legitimately good book. It's well written. It's got, well, you know what? Let me go through it here. So Ben Grimm, it starts off, is having a nightmare, and there's a monster there, and he keeps on attacking Alicia, and he can't help because as soon as the danger hits, he begins to fall apart. So what to do? What can he do? He's really nervous. He's worried. And Alicia, after she calms him down, casually explained, so I don't hear the girl across the street. Usually I hear her singing, but for the last few days she wasn't. And Ben sees some men going around her apartment, goes down and confronts them, and they find out that the singer went missing. And so Ben decides, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to help, figure this particular mystery out. Later that night, he has another dream, and he's mentioning the monster. And so he has Alicia kind of construct the monster out of clay, do a little statue. And he decides to bring him around to his superhero friends, see if they recognize who it is. And that's it. It's basically a mystery. Let's solve the problem. Who is the villain? Who is the monster here? And how to stop it. And it's done very well. Granted, it's not as black and white kind of, and by that I mean dark. Like the colors, the color spectrum of the book isn't as noirish as I would have liked it to be. That being said, the story is still strong. The art, as you could see passing by, is good. And it does what it sets out and promises to do. It is a legitimately good book. Next up is Finger Guns. This is another book that I was intrigued just by the title, the cover, the whole 9 yards. And I was thinking, wait a second, these days, doesn't Finger Guns get kids expelled? And I thought, well, maybe that's what the story's going to be about. Some kid who got wrongfully expelled for making finger guns or something like that. And it's not exactly what it's all about. By the way, let me address that for just a touch. The people expelling these kids are my age, and they should know better. They survived, okay? Stop it. Stop it with the kids and expelling them because they go kabang. Jesus, Lord in heaven, how stupid this world has become. Anyway, one day this kid's making finger guns. His teacher says that's not going to change anything, but for some reason, energy comes out of his finger, and he's a little confused, except for he uses it and changes somebody's mood. Makes them angry. So he's like, wait a second, I can make people mad. I can piss people off just by pointing at them. And he goes around the city doing just that. Sometimes he makes people mad at their own kids or their spouses and so forth and so on. And at one point he does it, and there's a girl who counteracts it. She points a finger and it has a calming effect. Yeah, there's something to read in there because of the girl being able to calm him down, the boy being able to be aggressive and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, they really don't delve into it. There is no depth to this story. There's no real story. It's just, hey, look, here I am. I'm going around. I'm going to point at people. I'm going to make them either mad or sad. Nothing. We find out nothing about the boy. We found nothing about the girl. It's one of the most useless stories I've read in a long time. I'm thinking what I could have done with that $4 that I paid for this book. It is amazingly bad. Well, I don't know if I would call it amazingly bad, but gosh darn it, it is about as deep as a Dixie cup. It's about as deep as if you put water into a McDonald's cup lid. I can't recommend this one, kids. Alrighty, let's talk about Detective Comics Volume 4, number 20. A little running gag with me and not really appreciating the whole let's bump up the numbers so we could sell that 1,000th issue that doesn't actually exist. So, goodness, what can I say about this book? It took me forever to read. It really did. I kept going over. I'm like, it just didn't. It never grabbed me. I ended up having to kind of slog through it, and just. But the thing is the more I did read, the more intriguing it went, and it actually went by a little quicker. If you've ever tried to read a comic you weren't getting into, it does take a while. This one, however, is I realized, holy crap! Wait a second. Did Two-Face start a religion? Is that what's going on here? Is that what happened? As soon as I started realizing that's what's going on, I was like, okay, now this is getting good. This is a twist. It's like I say, and this comes from REEVE. It's not my quote, but it's not what it's about, it's how it's about it. So if you're going to do a Two-Face story and you realize he made a religion where he himself is the deity, the Messiah, because of his deformity... Yeah, man, let's go with that. I want to see how that plays out. That's an interesting little twist there, man. I don't want to give too much away beyond that, just to say that it actually turned me around. The beginning of the story, no, didn't have me. But then, I mean, and of course, I got to admit from this point where, Dent has a bullet in him, he ends up shooting the guy who's working on him because it hurts. That's one of the things that got me turned around on it. But it's really good when a book can do this. Now, that also means that I can only recommend this, cautiously, because it might not grab you the same way it did me. But then again, you might pick it up and read it straight from the beginning going, what the heck was England T talking about? This is amazing. For me, it was good, not amazing, but it definitely picked up at the end. Bonus review, Aquaman number 57. Okay, so everybody and their brother knows I'm an Aquaman fan. Everybody and their brother also knows I'm not a big DeConnick fan, so I haven't been reading Aquaman in a long time. Sorry gang, it's just not my cup of tea to pick up this run after Dan Abnett was booted. So I figured, what the heck, let's revisit it. Should I go back to it? And holy Toledo, this was good. Now I even at the beginning of DeConnick's run, I was saying it's not as bad as people are making it out to be. It wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. It was more just kind of boring. But this, we have a pregnant Mira and she's sick. Now you would think, that might actually turn into an episode of House. I'm glad that they didn't do that. This isn't a medical procedure, issue or anything like that. It's just a whole bunch of people worrying about Mira and the Aquaman, not the Aquaman, but the Atlantis politics and everything. The stuff that's kind of behind the scenes that would come up if a head of state was taken out by disease. And, of course, the worry because she is pregnant. It's a good story, man. It's all character work. It's got some good art to it. Orm shows up just so they could have their action scene. And it absolutely freaking works. I enjoyed this. I think I'm going to start picking up Aquaman again and on a regular basis. And I'm very glad that I picked this one up because, like I said, I was a big fan of Dan Abnett and Kelly. It wasn't that Kelly Sue's run was horrible, but man, after the Dan Abnett run, you gotta do something big. But not just big. You can't deconstruct Aquaman again. You gotta do something we've never seen before. And I'm kind of thinking this is it. Not too shabby, guys. So there you go, gang. That's all of the reviews, and this is the way I always line up the covers at the end here in the way from best to worst. It's got to be Grimm, Noir, then Aquaman, and then Detective Comics, and finally Finger Guns, because that book just sucked. And I'm telling you, Aquaman's getting me back as a subscriber here. That's going to be pretty cool. Now I've got to fight the urge to fill in the gaps, right? So there you go, guys. That's my opinion. What is yours? Have you read any of these issues? Or if you did you like them? Did you hate them? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe. Ring that notification bell if you haven't done it already. And if you like the video, choose one of the ones that are popping up around you here. And don't forget to go on over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi. Drop $1 in the till. Helps keep making videos for you. Helps keep the lights on because this is the way we're trying to make a living. Thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, Thank you very, very much for watching.